Alrighty, hola people. All right, let's move that out of the way. Ooh, let's clean this lens a little bit here. All right, there we go. Alrighty, incredible. What are we in? Afternoon, everyone. I am about to finish up the names for some posters that I am doing, and I wanted to just kind of go over like designing in Silhouette Studio versus designing in Photoshop, and why for certain things I prefer to design in Silhouette Studio. And when for me is the benefit of doing things in Photoshop. So I use a combination of not machines, of softwares, programs for designing. I don't really do just one. Like each one serves a purpose for me. So I have gone, to learn multiple programs, and you'll find that as well, that some things are a little bit easier. Some things, depending on like the type of style you're going for, is going to make it, it'll be better. Like the number of steps that it takes if you have to repeat a bunch of things. So I have 8 different names that I have to make for um for some posters. Unfortunately, I cannot show you guys the posters because it is for there for their senior night on Wednesday. I will post the posters afterwards, so you're not going to see the completed poster, but you will get to see the like the way the names and stuff, the way they're set up. If you're in my academy and you are in the student union, I do believe I either showed it there or I'll post a picture. I will show you guys beforehand if you're in my student union, but other than that, you won't see them until after Wednesday. All right, so I'm going to get into this because this is actually me working, so I don't want to spend too long on this, but I also wanted to share so you guys can kind of get an idea. People always ask me about designing in different programs, or why do I choose Silhouette? Is Silhouette the best option? When should they learn Photoshop? Is that something they should learn first? And it really is personal preference programs. So I, switch back and forth between Photoshop, Illustrator, Silhouette Studio mainly. There are times where I'll go like because of the pre-made templates for things inside Canva. My sister uses it more like for her website stuff than I do, but there's like little template things, but I don't really create designs in Canva. Corel Draw is another one. It was one of the programs I used to go to a lot previously, but then I became a Photoshop gal and Silhouette. And Affinity Designer. I'm not saying that those are not decent or good programs to use, that you can do graphic designs with them. It's just for me and how I design and the way that I like to navigate through my softwares. Affinity Designer just doesn't do it for me. Again, I am not saying that you cannot. It does not matter which program you use. You just have to identify which program is best for your needs, which program is going to be easier for you to learn based off of either you going in and you simply trying out and just, putting your hands to the keyboard and the mouse and just moving things around and just creating foolishness to eventually learn how to create greatness. Or if you're going to take classes. And if you take classes, maybe it's about a certain person's style. You like how they teach. And no matter if they were teaching you, how to design with the Etch-a-Sketch, if they can work it and show you how to do it with that, hey, you might create your designs with Etch-a-Sketch. But you just have to figure out what works for you. And for me, 93.65% of the time, Silhouette Studio works for me. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and hop over here. Like I said, this is me actually working on a job and me doing these setups. So yeah. All right. I am Shakia, the professor of HSINK365. As you guys can see, we do have an amazing website, shop.hsink365.com. Here is where you will find our sublimation ink, sublimation paper, pigment ink, as well as our classes. If you want to learn how to design in Silhouette Studio, you can head over to the website to learn how to do it, like to take any of our classes to learn how to design in Silhouette Studio. I almost forgot to share this out to my group. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, so let's go ahead and um, as I demo the same design from both programs. All right, copy that. Let's go over here and all right. Let me just share it again. I have 2 more places I have to share it to. Let's go here and post and more options, share to a group. All right, here we go. Hello, everyone. I see everyone, but again, I got to get to work. I got to get this done. All right. Essentially what this is going to be is a setup that is like this. So you guys can kind of see what this is going to end up looking like. So I've already kind of done everything and I know exactly what I want. And originally I did design this and set it all up in Silhouette Studio. All right. I already kind of know, so I'm going to do it this way so I can also remember just the exactly what the text size is and what the offsets are. Okay. So I'm just going to move. Well, let's ungroup this one. And of course, this is a little bit different because this is already set up. So I've already when I was figuring out my design and how I wanted it to be and all that stuff, I went through a couple of different offsets and stuff to get to the one I wanted. But this is now just to kind of show you guys how this kind of goes down. So I'm going to take my top. I'm going to take the name that's on top and I'm just going to make it a different color so we know that this is a different one. Oops, I did not ungroup everything. So let's ungroup. Okay. So I'm just going to duplicate that on top and I'm just going to go ahead and convert that to a pad. All right. So I use offsets. Now I could do this as a line for the first one, but then I'll still have to do offsets. Meaning, if I was doing just one outline, like I can have it set up in Silhouette Studio to where no matter what name I type, it will still give me at least one outline on it. But I need quite a few of them. So I'm going to just go here and I'm going to go over to my offset tool. I know over on TikTok, you guys can't see all the tools, but you'll kind of get the idea and get the gist. So I'm going to bring my offset tool over here and I'm going to go offset. So that's giving me almost all the way out to the edge. So I don't really want that one just yet. I'm going to bring this down. So like, this is where I kind of brought my distance down. So I already know that this is actually at 0.05 is where that first offset is. So I'm just going to hit apply. Okay. And then I normally fill it in with color and then I just group it together. I'm going to they have notes and stuff here. I'm actually just going to I'm going to write it down for myself just so that I know. And I'll normally have a notebook next to me where I am writing down things like this, like, okay, what was my font size? What was my offset? These are things that I teach when it comes to designing. Sometimes you're just going to write things down because it'll be the same thing next time you do it with a different font or anything like that, different name. So that first offset was 0.05. Now, I can come back to the original one and then do an offset of 0.125. But normally, because I'm already on that All right, there we go. Sorry, lost sound for a moment there. So 0.0, did it go to 85? Let's see. Okay, so somehow it was on 0.085. So we're just going to go 0.085 is that one. There is actually a gray one. So this is now me creating different text effects and, it'll make it where it really pops off the back of the page. So this one right here is technically just the one that I created, and it's just pulled down and over. All right. So I'm not worried about that. And then I'm just going to come down like this, and we're just going to center everything. Oops, hold on. Oh, well, actually, here we go. I forgot I had it over here. So then, oh crap, hold on. I forgot to group it together and change the color because now, because I did not do it that time, trying to go back in to select that is a little bit harder. So we're going to go back to the original. I'm going to go offset, well, the original offset. So 0.075, right, 85. Okay. Oh, wait, cancel. Something is not right here. Cancel. Okay. See, because I didn't group it, I have the individual boxes. I don't want that. I'm going to undo. I think I might have them. Let's see. I'll make it yellow. Okay. So 0.085, I got back to it to where I can, all right, yeah. So I have that one, and I'm just going to group it. All right. Now, my next one, I'm just going to come down here, I'm going to click on the white layer. I'm going to go offset, and that one was I think that one was 0.1. Yeah. So that one was 0.1. And if you can tell, normally I go up like 0.025 each time. I don't know how I ended up with 0.085, but whatever. So I went from 0.05, then 0.075, and then 0.1. So it went up by 0.025 for each one of those offsets. All right. I need to get into the habit of writing down the details. And this is what I teach my students, or I'm on live video. Tell everyone, write everything down. The older we get, it's harder to remember. Even if you're just doing it, you like, let's say you have to go do something else, you might forget. Write it down, write it down, write it down. All right. So that one was 0.1. Oh, the font itself is, so I have to write that down. So right now, and I could have probably given it like a better, like roundabout size, but it was based off of like the very first name that I did. And I like that size. And so all the other ones are just going to be based off that first name, unless one name ends up too long and I have to go in and adjust it. But I'll do that to just that one name. So the font on this is Maxton. So Maxton. Now, Studio does have a notepad in here where you can write these things down. It drives me absolutely nuts to use that notepad. So most times I don't. If I really want to keep the information inside like that particular design, I'll just create a text box with all of these things in it and just kind of keep that or write it down. So it's Maxton, and it is 258.52. Okay. Do I hold in-person classes? We are located in South Florida, Miami Gardens to be exact. And yes, we do. We just moved into our new space. So as of February, we will have a calendar for in-person classes. We also still do them virtually. So you can set up a private session for yourself as a one-on-one session. It costs a little bit more, or just be on the lookout for our group classes. And of course, it comes out a little bit cheaper for you because y'all are paying for my time amongst a bunch of y'all. So, all right. So now I have all of the information that I need for this. All right. So when I'm designing, I design like in Silhouette Studio, we don't have like Photoshop. I said we as if I own part of the company. I feel like I do though. But Silhouette Studio doesn't have the option like Photoshop where you can type something out and then all you have to do is, oh, well, duh, Shakia, let's just go over there, shall we? So let's say we're over here, right? And I'm just going to bring this down and I'm going to turn off all of, let's turn off all of the effects. All right. So like with this one, I'm going to come to my character. I'm going to bring this out so you guys can see it on TikTok. Like you can click on it and you can change how it looks. So I'm just going to do this one and I'm just going to go SHAKUIA. So you can see it's a different name. And I wrote this with an uppercase S and the rest of them are not in uppercase. So I can either make it bigger, you know, like that. I can tell it to where I want everything to be. Escape. Come on. Where I want everything to be in caps. So it automatically jumps to caps. Like I didn't have to go in and type it out in caps. So you can do different things. If I want it to be caps, but like small caps. So where this is still, well, this one you can't really tell the difference, but you know, let me see. Let me just pick a different font for you. Hold on. Let's go. Let's just do the standard Arial font. So Arial, let's go to Arial bold, black. All right. Okay. So this is all caps, but it has the first letter is bigger than the rest. So if I go to this one, everything is all in caps. But if I take this off, it shows the regular lowercase letters. So that is something that is an advantage in Photoshop, is that it has an option where you don't have to type them over like in every caps, like in every case. So you don't have to do all uppercase, lowercase, have it capitalized and all those different things. You just click a button and it'll automatically change it. So that is an advantage there versus Silhouette Studio, where I have to think about that ahead of time. So all of my students know that when I am doing anything that is with text, they can vouch that I type everything out in regular case, meaning the first letter is capitalized and the rest are lowercase. I will also type it out, especially if I know I might want to do it in uppercase. So in this case, I did all of the last names in uppercase. And then sometimes, because I don't know how I want to design, I'll also type out text in all lowercase, because I'll just have, you know, and as I apply the fonts, I can see how they're going to look, because Silhouette does not have that option. You still can design, but it's like, y'all get what I'm saying? Like it's one less step. In Silhouette Studio, you can still do it. You just have to do it manually. Make sense? All right. So now that I have that, I'm going to click on it and I'm going to turn all of them to the same font. So I'm going to come over to my text style and I'm just going to go Maxton. All right. So everything there will become that. I normally like to just fill it with color. Doesn't matter what color. And I usually turn off my line color. Now with this particular font, it might seem like, hey, this is all the same, but it's really, really not, because that you can see here, like the differences in the letters. Okay. So I'm going to take that one, and we said that our font size is 258.52 because I've already did like my very, very first one. I do this part, like if I have a bunch of names to do, once I already know how, like exactly how I want it, because I worked on one name, then I know for everything else, and it's going to make it a lot easier for me. All right. So I'm just going to put that in there, 258.52. Of course, it's going to be absolutely humongous. All right. But that's fine. Now I'm going to make a duplicate of this. This particular font is, I'm going to just make a line under this, and we're going to make a duplicate so I can break it down. We're going to ungroup. This one is Amarillo. So it's Amarillo. The size is 188.30.31. My offsets are as follows. I'm going to click on here. So first offset is going to be on this one. I think it's 0.15. So it's 0.15 on this particular font and the size of it. And then I'm going to hit apply. It should be all connected together. Just in case it's not, I always check to see if I have the option to group. If I don't, then it's all connected. Then I'm going to go again, offset. And so this one is, I want to say it's 0.175 if I'm not mistaken. Yep, I was right on the money on that one. 0.175 is what I did for this one. Right? So now I know what those are. I already have the names, but I know that the first name is the one that's going to be in this font. So I'm just going to come over here to my text tool. I'm going to make it Amarillo. Uh-oh, what happened? All right, so, oh, well, look, here's another thing that I can do, right? Because I have designer edition, or really I have business edition, I don't even really have to find it. I'm going to click here. I'm going to click on my properties dropper, and I'm going to click on the name. Everything is going to become, boom, just like that one, and in the proper size. Or you can write it down. I don't need the last name, so I'm going to come back in through here. I'm going to select all of these and delete the last names. Now, this part, no program makes it easier. Like it's going to be where you have to type things out, you have to resize them. So whether you are typing them out and then deleting it, or you're just like a bunch of them and then just deleting the parts that you don't want, or you're just typing the names out, there really is no easy way around this. You're going to end up typing out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why do I have, oh, right here, this is a last name. I'm like, why do I have 9 names? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Boom. Okay. Now over here, technically I don't need the last names, but I like to always keep one that has like pretty much all the information. My students know, I tell you to always duplicate and keep sets of things. So now here, technically, I don't need the last name. I mean, I don't need all these last names. I already know. I'm showing you from like, because I've already gone through and I know exactly what I want. However, when I was designing this, it was a lot of back and forth, and there was actually about 3 different fonts while I was trying to figure out what I want. And now that I'm settled on it, I'm going back to do all of the names. Make sense? So I don't, and I say that to say this. Don't overwhelm yourself by going into a design, especially if you have multiples to do, like different names. Let's just say, even if it was like grandma, grandpa, auntie, uncle, sister, brother, nunu, this, that, and the third. Like, you don't have to know, like, already have it in your mind for each one of them. Work on one, because if it's going to be uniform, they're all going to look the same. Once you figure out that one, then you can do the rest. So when I'm designing and it's going to have multiple titles or multiple names, I started with just the one name, and then I go from there. Once I have my idea, I can go back and do all of the names. Hopefully that makes sense to you in my process of designing. So now I'm just going to go back through here. Yeah, it's going to kind of suck, but we're just going to delete everything that's not the last name in all uppercase. Did I just delete the wrong one? Okay, no. And I think I am missing a name. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, no, I have them all. Okay. So that's that. Now I can simply apply my offsets to all of these at the same time. I don't have to do them one by one. All right. I already have it here where it is already typed out. Like, if I mess up, I would have to make a duplicate and get rid of those names. If you want to go as far as to duplicate this as well, you can. Let me save this. So file, save as, save to hard drive. And you're going to see me save this as just their names. I'm not creating it or doing it within the design of like the poster. This is a file that's going to be just their names, not the actual poster part. You can do that when you're designing as well. Design in different windows. One, it can help you from bogging down your system and it shutting down on you. You have separate files for things. I mean, that's just kind of how I design when I have something like a major project to do. It's normally broken up into several different files. So we're just going to go MCC Senior Cheerleader Names 2023. I should have put 2023 seniors. MCC 2023 Senior Cheerleaders names. Okay. All right. Now that that is like that, I am going to go ahead and just ungroup this. The one thing that Cricut has over Silhouette is they have, I think, ungrouped to lines. Silhouette Studio does not have that. So I just have to ungroup it, and then I have to group each name together, like all the parts of it. So we're just going to go ungroup. And I like keyboard shortcuts for this. Like, it's not like it's when I type it out, right? People get intimidated thinking that it's a lot of steps, but it will literally take you less than like 5 seconds because, well, at least for me, because I'm doing keyboard shortcuts. That's why I teach my students in my 30-day training how important it is to use keyboard shortcuts. So versus like right clicking and then going to like scrolling all the way down to group. So I did that, boom, quickly. So now I'm going to select them all. I'm going to go offset. That first offset is going to be 0.05. So 0.05. Apply. I'm going to fill that in with some color. Doesn't matter what color it is. And then I'm going to click off. All right. And let's make sure. So offset. Why does that look small? Oh, no, it is. It just looked weird. Okay, cancel. Because I'm doing all of the names, I still have to go back in and like if I wanted to group them together, I have to just group them together. Now, technically, I can do it after the fact, but clicking on each one just makes it a little bit harder. So I'm going to zoom out so you guys can see what I'm doing, because it's going to be the easiest way and the fastest way. So I select everything here. I have the front that's already grouped together. Then I have all the individual letters. So I'm just going to hold down Shift, click on that one, and I'm going to group the background what's behind it. So now all that's grouped together. You could either do all of this and then put the offset on all of them, or you can do the offset on this one like now, like do each offset now if you wanted to. That is up to you and the order in which you do it in. So now I'm going to go offset on that one, and it is 0.0. Oh, come on. 0.085. And then, oh, shoot. I didn't do corner. It's fine. I'm going to leave it like this. So 0.085. Again, I add color. Doesn't matter what color it is, just so that I can go and group it. And then the next one was an offset of 0.1. And then we're going to make that a different color. So the difference in doing it like that for each one, you have to type those names. Like if I did it each time, I would have to do that 8 different times, which is why I prefer to just do everything where I select them all and do it at once. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. All right, so we're just going to select Simmons, hold down Shift, click, Control G, white G. All right, so now that first offset is all grouped together. I'm going to select everything here. It's going off of the last offset anyway, so it doesn't, that's the one we calculated the offset off of. That's why I did not do it off of the first one. So now I'm going to go offset, and I'm going to go 0.0. 8. Oh, come on. What the heck just happened? All right, cancel. I have no idea what just happened here. I said cancel. Oh, come on. What is going on here? Okay, let me just zoom in and make sure. Okay, yeah, we're good. All right. I'm going to go offset. It takes a little bit longer because of it's reading through at this point. It sees it as 14 different elements. So this is 0.085. And then we're going to apply. This is going to seem like what I'm going to do next, because I want to easily group them together, and I can always use my alignment tool. So there, the offset is made. I'm going to just give it some random color. And I normally use my arrow key to move it over so that I can see it. Because you're going to have some of them, they're already grouped together. I don't have to do anything to it. But it's like ones like this, which I guess you guys can't see on TikTok. So ones like this where they're not grouped together, or they're not welded together. So I'm just going to select like that, group. I think it was this one, because this should be grouped. That's grouped. That was grouped. Okay. I can still go off of these. So we're just going to select this. And the next one was 0.1. Offset. 0.1. And then enter. And apply. I'm going to make that one orange. And usually because of like the size of it, you can kind of go through and just check it to make sure you don't see extra boxes. But normally I don't have to group that one because by that point, everything is grouped together anyway. So I don't have to worry about it. Can you guys still hear me and see me on TikTok? All right. So now I have all of my layers. We're going to come over here. Remember this one I needed 2 of anyway. So I'm going to hold down shift. I'm going to click on each one of the names. I'm going to right click and copy. I'm going to move it down and over, down and over. And then I'm going to go right click, paste in front. So now here, oh, let's just take this. I got to bring all this to the front. Which actually, you know what? I should probably do them together. Oh, here's a glitch. I need to make sure that it's working before I get really mad. Sometimes Silhouette Studio's stupid select by color. Okay, good. It's working. Yay. All right, my select by color is working. Sometimes it does not, and it drives me absolutely bonkers. All right, I'm going to select. I'm just going to, all right, we're going to do it this way. I kind of messed up on that one, but it's okay. I can easily fix it. Okay, so I just lined them all back up. All right. I just had to change it to a different color. All right. My browns need to be this orange color. So I'm going to go edit, select by color. I'm going to go by fill, and I'm going to grab this brown color. All right, why are you not grabbing it? Why is it not selecting the color? Is that not that color? Okay. Why is it not selecting it? That's kind of weird. All right, let's see. Copy. Select by color. Okay, there we go. I have no idea why it was not selecting on the other page, but okay. Let me just copy this one and paste it over here because I have no idea why it wasn't selecting it. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to, okay, why are you not selecting? I'm so confused. I have it selected where I don't want you to include everything on the only shapes on media. That's deselected. I'm so confused. Why are you not selecting? What the heck is going on, Silhouette Studio? All right, I don't have time for this. This is 48 by 21. So let's just make this 50 by 22. Oh, I'm sorry. 22 by 50. I don't know what's going on with this, but it's acting crazy. Let's just go 25 to make sure everything is on there. All right, cool beans. Now let's see if this does what it's supposed to do. Edit, select by color, only media on shapes. No, we're still not working. What the hell is going on here? That is so friggin' weird. Copy, paste. That's weird. See, now it wants to work. That is the weirdest thing ever. Okay, so I'm just going to select the orange. The next color was the blue, so I'm going to go and tell it to select the blue. So I'm going to tell it to select the blue. And my blue, I'm going to change it to this gray color. And then my next color on here was the pink. So select by color, the pink. And the pink is technically all of the white letters. And then I forget what the other color is behind it. Okay, so that's another gray. Shoot now. It might be the same gray. Okay, hold on. Okay, no. So that gray should be this gray. Nope. So this gray should be this gray. Okay, because I shouldn't be able to see it. And then all of the orange becomes black. All right. Oh, Jesus, that was a lot. Now, this one I had different colors on it, so I'm just going to go back in and fix those. I'm missing one. Okay. Now, everything has the exact same colors. Everything has the exact same colors. So remember, you know, I'm designing this where it's going to have like a little offset, like over to the side and down. So again, using select by color, I'm going to select that first, like the grayish color, and I'm just going to use my arrow keys to go over and then down. Now they all have the same distance over as they do down. So I'm not guessing like how far over I went. Like I use my select by color to make sure I'm selecting all of the colors that are the same and moving them at the same time. So now I'm going to go to the black and we're going to move that over and down, which I think I moved it too much, but over. I definitely moved it too much. So I'm just going to focus on one name. Let's turn our line colors off. Okay. So we're going to come over here to white. All right, I'm going to click on that first gray, selecting it everywhere, and I'm just going to move it up and over. Then I'm going to select all of the blacks and move that up and over. And that's how I got my text effects on those. All right. And then I just have to go in and add my black on top. But now all of my names are technically the same. Oh, one last thing on this before I pull in my fade, I have to click on all of the orange and I have to duplicate it. So copy. So let's just right click and copy and then paste in front. And I'm going to just make them a different color for now because I just need it to be a different color. I'm going to come back over here. This is my fade bar, which I have multiple colors on my website. It's a file that you can purchase. I don't need this one, so let's just delete that. Oh, wait, no, cancel. Oh, no, okay, yeah, this is the one I don't need. Nope. Okay. So now over here, I'm going to go paste. And this I do have to do like individually for each individual name. So this isn't something that I can just kind of do on all of them. So I'm just going to duplicate this and put it on each one. All right, I'm going to send all of these to the back. I'm missing one. So now I'm going to do them in, like I said, I have to do them individually. So click here and here and modify and crop. Group it together. Oops. Okay, I had something. I'm missing something. Okay, I had too many. All right, let's delete that. So here, crop. There we go. Oh, come on. Okay, there we go. Okay. Then I would just group them all together. All of my last names are done. All right. All those are done. Now let's go over to, now I have to create a text box for this. Control A, Control C. This over here is going to end up being a little bit different because they need to be as separate boxes. Well, I guess I could do them as the same one because I would save it as a PNG anyway, but, or I could like take it and then crop it down. It's kind of hard to explain, but I'm just going to go through. Let's just do a text box, Control V. That's all of the names. The one thing it drives me nuts about Photoshop, like for me, is the fact that you have to either design, like have a really, really big canvas so that you can see all these things and you can move things around, or you have to create art boards, because if you move anything off of here, you're not going to see it. So that's one of the things that drives me nuts. I like having the versatility and like the room to move around and put my things anywhere within Silhouette Studio and still see it and be able to select it. All right. So let's say with this one, we're going to go to, I'm going to go Maxton. All right, we're going to duplicate this. Now, if I were just typing this out, I wouldn't have had to have all of like the names, like I said, but I didn't just type this out in Photoshop, and I wasn't about to retype it since I had all the names. So if I was just designing in Photoshop, I would just type it out and then I would tell it that I wanted it to be all caps. So I'm going to give this some space, right? If I want to do it all together, I have to give it space, which means you're going to change the spacing right here. So let's make that, it doesn't have to stay this way. So I'm just going to make that 60 for now. Oh, wait, am I? Here we go. So let's just make that 60. And I'm gonna just change my canvas size to 20 by 30. Just to give me some more space. Okay. This one, we had it at 258.52, which means I now need to change my sizing on this, my space, my spacing in between. So let's go, let me see, 258. Let's go 325. Okay, that gives me space in between. Now, let's say I went through it, I figured out what I wanted, I know exactly how I want it to be, and I've already, so with this one, it's a matter of your layer styles, right? So I'm just going to take my name I'm just going to take my name. Oh, you know what? No, let's do it let's go to this one. All right, we're going to delete the layer styles on that one, okay? I'm going to double click on it. And you're going to have a bunch of options here. So however many strokes that you want, you would have to add a plus sign to it. Now you have to move this around so that we can see it. So I'm going to go, I have to click on the first stroke. And then I have to tell it what size I wanted it to be. This one is kind of a little bit tricky with figuring out the sizes and just trying to eyeball it. The one thing that I don't like is I can't just go now and like, okay, I can't really see this, and then go in and zoom in. See, I'm going to get that sound. I have to cancel it first. And I went way too far so that I can be zoomed in on it and I can actually see it. So now I'm going to double click on it, go to my first stroke, and here within Photoshop, you can't really change the way the stroke is. It's kind of just rounded. Whereas if I would have gone over to Silhouette, like in Silhouette Studio, I can make it where for these sharp edges, it stays sharp. If I wanted this to be sharp edges, I would have to do different steps. And I would have to have multiples of them, because things like beveled and embossed, you cannot have multiples of them like you do with the stroke. It's only one. So if I wanted a chiseled edge around this, I would have to have the name several times, like stacked one on top of the other. And then I would change the sizes and stuff of like the embossing and like making it chiseled if I wanted it to be sharp edges. But as with Silhouette Studio, if I really wanted to not have this rounded, I'm going to zoom in again on this one. So there are some sharp edges to this. I can go offset and I can make it corner points to where it's going to give me sharp points. Ooh. All right. Undo. All right. It's going to give me sharp points. Or if I have it as rounded, it's going to make it where it's round corners. So see the difference in those? You don't have that option in Photoshop under just stroke. You have to do other things in order to get that exact same effect. So this is a time for me where it's easier for me to do it in Silhouette Studio than to try and attempt that in Photoshop and have to do a bunch of other different things. If I wanted all of my offsets to be chiseled. Okay. And now I'm going to go back over to Photoshop. So now I want the next one. So I will just go over to the next stroke. And you would pick whatever size you want that to be, your opacity, your color. So we have to click here to open a window to select the color and move it around. For me, Photoshop sometimes, like with having to open up so many different windows, it can be kind of aggravating sometimes, open it up in so many different windows. So we open up that window and then we'll hit OK, right? Then I needed another stroke. So I'm going to go to this one and I'm going, okay, well, technically I can't really do a stroke, right? So if I go and I put another stroke, remember I talked about the other one, I said that it was pushed off to the side. You would think that you would do one and this would end up being like that gray. Come on, fine. Let's go to like the bluish color and like it would be like the gray. And then you can move it. Well, it's just a stroke. Strokes can't be moved around. So what you end up having to do instead of doing another stroke, whereas in Silhouette Studio, I just did another offset, I'm going to cancel that one. Oh, wait a minute. Shit, I didn't mean to cancel the whole thing. I meant to just turn off the stroke. It's okay. We're going to come back. It's going to be easy because they're already set. I'm just going to turn it on because they were already set. I need to come down to drop shadow and seriously. So I'm going to come down to my drop shadow and I'm going to tell my drop shadow like which angle to go to, or I can just grab it and move it around. And then I had another one behind that in Silhouette Studio. So now I have to put another drop shadow and I have to just change the distance. Well, I just have to change this. Well, on both of them, the spread is going to be all the way maxed out. That way it's not blurred. So if I go and bring this down, that's when you get like the blurriness of it. But I wanted it to be sharp. So I'm going to take my spread all the way up. My size, just determines how much bigger it is than the other one. And then again, you move it around. Now, again, I may not like how this looks and I may be zoomed in too much. I cannot see how much I'm zoomed in. I cannot change the view of it. I have to just say, okay, all right, I need to see a little bit more of this. Let me go back down to like 45, move my screen over, and I can take my character back over here. Then I can go back into it, move this off to the side and go back to my shadow, and then I can move it around, right? You have to be in this layer style window in order to move this around when it's a part of the layer style. If I were to just hit OK and I'm coming in here and I click on that, I can't just move that around. If I come down here for effects, I can turn an effect on and off, but I cannot select just that effect to adjust it. I have to double click back on it to go back in and then come here and make the adjustments. It's something that technically is minor, but when you have to keep going and clicking back and forth, for me, sometimes that can be kind of annoying. I'm not sure how you've been watching, like with you watching it and you just kind of looking at the process. it drives me crazy with some of the things I have to do in Photoshop. So you can have multiple artboards in um, Photoshop as well. You just have to create it. Like you just have to turn a layer and just say that you want to like, well, just go to the artboard and just create an artboard. So you can have it. Let me see. I'll go to like, let's say my 30-day training. Oh, wait, let's cancel. I have this up here. So these are all different artboards. And so if I move this, it's still not visible. Like it has to, I have to move it to where it comes to, right, where'd you go? Right, let me just take what's, all right, why am I moving so much? Oh, I think I probably put it behind something. Yeah. Oh, see, there I go. There she is. So I can kind of have this here, and then I can move it over to that artboard. But if I, and now I can actually have these where I can see them if they're all around here because we have the artboards. But without artboards, if you move something into that space, it's just sitting over there. And you just have to figure out where it is on your board and move it over first. Come on, there it is. So I can see it and then pull it back. Or I can center it back to like, oh wait, come on. Undo. Okay, but once we have all of our layers set up, the one good thing about Photoshop is you can go to your layers panel and simply just say, I want to copy that layer style. So I'm going to come to this one. I want to copy layer style, and I don't have to do an offset again and all this, like, you know, how I did in Silhouette. I would just click on this and I'm going to go paste layer style, and it's going to apply it to all of those names at once. Even if it was, I mean, because that was all typed together, but I can still come up to my name here. It's not going to change the font, but I can come up to my name and I'm going to paste layer style, and it's going to apply that. So that part can be a little bit easier once you know exactly how you want it set up and all that good jazz. It's just a matter of copying layer style and pasting layer style. Okay. Now for the fade in there, many would probably say just use the gradient, but how it blends is a little bit different. So what you would have to have on here is a layer where you would brush it in. So on top of this one, I'm going to add a layer on top. I'm going to, you can, there's keyboard shortcuts, but I'm just going to go right click, create clipping mask. And so I'm going to go to my brush, and then you would adjust your brush up based on the size that you want. And I'm just going to brush it across, and it will give me that effect. And because it's a clipping mask, it's going to stay within these boundaries. So on this one, if I did it, okay, let's go back, let's click, and let's just add a layer on top. I'm going to make it a clipping mask. And then we're going to go back to our paintbrush. And I want this to be just a little bit bigger. Hey, what are you talking about? I did put. So I have to be careful, right? Because this is here. If I made my, let's say if I had this brush way too big and I went like this, it's going to do the bottom and the top of this. So you have to just be very careful with the size of your brush. And it's not going to be completely uniform. Doing it this way, it's not going to be completely uniformed on each name. Now, there is a way to make it where it's completely uniform, but I'm not about to go through all that. Just kind of give you a general idea. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go like that. I don't really like how, oh, come on, don't do that. I didn't mean to brush. Okay. So I'm going to hit V on my keyboard to go back. Well, I'm sorry. I want Z. I want to zoom in. I don't really like the spacing on this part. I can adjust my blend modes. Like I can do a lot more in Photoshop than I can Silhouette Studio. So remember how this one is right here. I can take this and adjust the blend mode. So that's dissolve, whether it's darken, if it's hue, saturation, color, luminosity, all those are going to be the same. Divide, subtract. So if it was a different color, we would get different results, but I use black, so it's not going to change it too much. Ooh, soft light. I like that kind of color that gives it. So you can play around with your different blend modes, right? If I wanted to change the opacity on anything, I can do that. Let's go back to here and let's go to our effects because I want to move my, oh, I'm missing the drop. That's why. I was like, why I look like that? I was missing the drop shadow. And you see how once I turn that off, I turn it on, it automatically applied to all of them. So I'm just going to hit OK because that's all I was missing was one of those. And so now let's say if I did want to have, I don't think this is all 7 names. Image, canvas. Okay, and I actually needed I needed to come out some more too. So, I'm just gonna go reveal all. And it's going to make it to where it's going to go all the way to the edge or whatever is like the furthest thing out. It's just going to go to the edge of it. Boom. So let's say I want it to go out a little bit more. I'm going to take Shakia and pull it over here, right? I'm going to just do another one on that for the hell of it. And I'm just going to go image, reveal all. It's going to jump out to the edges of Shakia. That way I have a little bit more room on Lattimore. There we go. See, I got a little more room. So now I still have to go back in and brush in for these. So let's go. Oh, wait, wrong thing. Oh, great. I'm painting somewhere else I should not be. So I have to go back up to that layer. All right. Now, this is a different layer from here. I could potentially lose my effects, or I could technically, all right, I'm going to go on here again. I'm going to go copy layer style. A couple different ways this can be done. Because if I rasterize it, I'm applying the layer styles and I can't go back and change it. So I'm just going to delete my layer styles for now, right? I like how this is, done here. I'm going to take these two and I'm just going to rasterize the, I'm sorry, also merge visible. There we go. No, not visible. Merge those layers. So merge the layers. So those two basically are merged together. I don't have a separate layer like for the what's name part. And so I'm just going to come here, paste layer style. So I have my black on top and it's a part of it. So I couldn't go back in and change the blend mode. Like that is now, like that's just how that is. It's orange and black. I can't just go and just change the color of the black part at the bottom because it's not a separate layer. It is actually its own, like they're one right at this point. But my layer style is, and I actually could have just merged the two. I didn't actually really have to rasterize it. I could have just merged it. But yeah, so Now I can, like if I still wanted to make any changes to this, such as color, I can. But if I would have had the layer style and I rasterize it, I couldn't change anything. It's like it becomes a JPEG or a PNG at that point. But now I can't. So I'll do it to this one. So I'm going to go to, and so like, let's say with these two, we're just going to, oh no, I did have to raster because then it's like, you don't get the, oh, there, okay, there's my merge layers. Did it merge? Hold on, undo. Okay, there it is. Where'd you go? There it is, okay. All right, there we go. So that one's merged, but you see my layer style actually did go away. So my layer style went away. I can't go back in there and change any of that. Like it's just one. I go in here and I put paste layer style, it's going to add to that. So that's why I went in and I'm going to undo again, undo. We're going to come back to this one. Is that the one? I'm going to just delete the layer style. I'm going to then merge these two together. This is now one. I can brush on top of it. I can do it that way. But if I go and I do anything as far as changing colors, it's going to change them as if they're one. I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to come over here and let's just go to hue and saturation and see, well, black doesn't change anyway. So I can just change the top. I can't change the black. It's not going to change colors. But I can now go back in and paste layer style. Everything applies around it as usual. And then I would be able to take this and save them as, like export them as PNGs and then use them in Silhouette Studio, or take them over. Like, so let's say I had my poster file in Photoshop. I can then just move those over there because I've designed everything. Like I did one canvas for all the names, and then now I can send them over there. So these right now are all kind of like together. Let's say I was okay with the way this is. I'm just going to select here. I'm just going to go ahead and just rasterize the layer style on this one. So it just becomes one. It's like that's the final one of it. This is me not making any changes. Once you rasterize something, that's saying that, hey, I want this like this, but they're all together. So I can box it out, XV, and then this is now its own layer by itself. So I would have to basically split those up to have them by themselves, where I can just move this one. Make sense? So yeah, it's a lot, I know, but just showing you kind of like the general steps of doing it in Silhouette, and the fact that Silhouette has offsets, Photoshop has strokes and shadows. Silhouette, it's just offsets, and you move the offsets where you want them to be. Photoshop, it's strokes and shadows. Okay. So if you went into Photoshop and you just, because some people will say that offsets or like the line color in Silhouette is the same as strokes in Photoshop. And it's really, I mean, it's the same, but it's not, right? So if you were to do, like I said, you're trying to do that and you're trying to move around these strokes, it's not going to work because you can't move strokes. You have to then know that you use your shadow, take your spread all the way up so that it is solid and it's not blurred, and you'll move that around because that can be moved. Strokes cannot be moved. Does your Photoshop class go this much into detail, or is it more introductory? So my intro to Photoshop that I did, that was a part of my boot camp, or whenever I do an introductory, this is way more like how this is broken down. This is not introductory. Introductory to Photoshop, as far as a whole, when I'm doing the essentials of Photoshop, I'm showing you where the layer styles are, and you know that you have strokes, you have this. Okay, you click on your stroke, it does this. Your shadow, it does this. If you move this around on your shadow panel, this is the results you get. So I just kind of introduce you, because it's an introductory. I introduce you to the layer style, all of the different tools and like what they do, going up to image effects and stuff like that. Text, how do you curve text? So I break down the tools the same way that I do in Silhouette Studio. What I'm doing here is something that would fall into a design class. So now if I'm breaking down how to do design techniques, that's where something like this will be in detail. All right. But I'm actually done with mine, because how I'm going to do mine is just, I'm just use the ones that I created here, and all of their names for this part is technically done. Now I just need to, I've almost forgot doing all that. I completely forgot. I have first names to do. So let's do that, shall we? So, ooh, I can see right now, I do not like the way the R is for Rose. Ooh, I like all the other letters except the R. I might have to find a, I might have to adjust this. I think I don't like the way this curves back. Rose is the only one that I am going to have to modify. So let's delete and then delete her from there. All right. Let's just copy this and just put it on a new window and make it yellow. All right, cool beans. So we're going to click on here, and the first one was 0.15, so offset. .15. And if I wanted to, I could make this like the way that it's going to be set up. So I'm just going to change the color. And all right, I'm going to just group these together for now, because I forgot to copy the layer style of this. Come on. Come on. Why are you freezing up on me? Okay. All right, let me go back over here. Okay, what's going on here? Okay. I need this part. Copy. Paste. I'm going to use my properties dropper, and I'm going to select that so that they all have that style on it already. And then we're going to go to the next one. So offset 0.175. Oh, I have some boxes here. Shoot. It's okay. It's okay. So 0.175. Apply. Hello. Thank you for joining the live. And then I'm just going to apply. So I'm going to go over here to my properties dropper, click on that one. Boom. It's done. I forgot to make, I think what was taking so long, I forgot to weld my fonts, my names. So now let me just take all those little pieces and group them together. Okay. Oh, that part is, let me see, is Rose. I never did hers. I never welded hers. Okay. And okay, so that one's done. So I'm going to go back to by fill. I'm going to uncheck this one. Oh, that's why I had include groups unchecked. That needs to remain checked. Haha. And if I were moving this around, I can select it and then move it, but I'm not moving it, so I'm not worried about it. Okay, so I'm going to just undo. But that's, I was like, what? Why the heck everything wasn't? Why it wasn't selecting? So look, if I go ungroup with include group, well, nothing's grouped together now. But that was the issue before. I didn't have include groups selected when it wasn't doing anything. I was like, what the heck is going on? It's because they were grouped together. So yeah, we're going to click on the yellow, make all of those white. So now each of the names are just going to group together. Group, 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 and match it with the last name. So let's say this one. Well, I can bring them all over now. Okay, I really don't remember this order. Hold on. Hold up. Wait. That's why I was like peeping this. So Harmony's name goes with Pitts. Oh, wait, it should be in order. Journey White, which I think I'm actually going to have to change. I think this is the font that I have to change. I can't do it in this little script font. This name is Jessica. I think the rest of them fall. Yeah, because I know her name is Jenkins. Lowe and Lattimore. I'm actually probably going to go in there and change the end part of Rose, but yeah. So now this is done. All right, I'm going to, y'all won't see it over here. So give me a minute. Y'all are about to go dark. Don't be alarmed, but you're about to go dark. Well, you're going to just see my camera with a line across it. Okay. And then over here, All right. So I just wanted to show you how it's going to be on here. So like with this, what I was saying, like the name, I got the names afterwards. And so one of them I kind of knew, and I didn't realize Lattimore was actually going to be that long. So like with hers, I'm going to have to reduce the size of her name because her name has too many letters. So it's going to appear smaller than the others so that it can fit. I don't think I want to change her first name. I don't know. So now what I'm going to do is we're just going to duplicate both. And I'm going to do one where I change her first and last name to make them smaller to where it's a little bit more proportional, which means her name may not, and no, I like her name bigger. I can already tell I'm going to like the name bigger. So I'm going to put this here, change Lattimore. Leave rows big in the middle. This piece is going to come up some. So I'll be doing it. There's actually a background to this. You guys just didn't get to see it. Bring to the front. Okay, looks like I'm going to actually adjust all of these a little bit. I don't know. Maybe they were a little bit off. All right, so I'm just going to, let's see. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm going to just select them all and make everything just a tad bit smaller. Some of these names are really long. Bring to the front. So yeah, so I would put all the names on there and then put their pictures in there. Their last names is a font called Maxton, Maxton. Their names are in Amarillo. But yeah, so now I'm going to go back. Now I got to get off because I got to finish this. I have to have these ready to go and to be printed on Monday and assembled because I still have to do sashes and all that kind of good jazz. But just wanted to kind of show you a little bit like the differences and why sometimes I gravitate towards silhouette. People always say, well, you can do, it's better if you do it in Photoshop. And I beg to differ. It all depends on your design style, where you're comfortable at, depending on how many steps it is. Like it's for certain things, it's just easier to get the same results. It's just easier in Silhouette Studio for me. Okay. So if you're interested in beginning to learn how to design in Silhouette Studio, I highly, highly recommend that you sign up and enroll in my 30-day training. It's on our website, shop.hsink365.com. You're going to go scroll down to either go here or you can go over to 365 classes and playbacks, and you're going to load more. The 30-day training is where it all starts. In order to get to the point where you can even think about creating a design to that magnitude, right in Silhouette Studio, you have to understand the tools and what it is that they do. That's what the 30-day training is for. It's not, you can design from it because I've had several people, once they're practicing it, they're putting their own images and things and they're creating their own designs. We even had someone that was in the class. I'm not sure if I recorded that part when we had, because before we kind of have like a little chit chat before the recording starts. But I think there may have been times like within it where she just says, her age, how long she's been used, or, she's not familiar with this. I think at one point, I'm not sure if she said it verbally or if it was just in the chat, because you guys don't get to see the chat part in the playback of it, where she was like, she didn't understand any of this. It was like jibber jabber when we first started and how it moves. And then by the time we got to day 20 something, I can't remember what it was, she shared a design that she had worked on, literally applying almost every single technique, every single tool we had gone over in those 15, 16 days or 17 days. It's like she almost applied every last one for this Encanto design. So if you just follow it, you do the practice assignments to get it in your head how they work. If you take notes, I promise you, you will be a designing fool. Like, I mean, you will just go crazy. Like, you're going to be a designing genius before time. Not saying that it's going to happen in 30 days. The 30 days is just how I broke down the training. That's all the 30 days is every day it is a different topic. That's why it's called Silhouette Studio in 30 days. I broke down each tool over that time. And then you just have to practice it. And then you can enroll in things like my banner classes or memorial classes. We did a design challenge, which is, if you don't want to take a bunch of different of my classes, like when they release in February, you can take that one. It's a great value, $113.65. You got 10 days. And it's a lot of different design techniques within that training that can be applied to any software. When I'm in design classes, I'm not teaching the software. I'm teaching you design techniques, how to look at a design, conceptualize a design. You'll know based off of the program that you are using what steps you need to take. So my design classes are about teaching you design techniques to unlock your creativity. It's not just for that program. So if you're someone, you feel like I'm stuck, my creative juices are not flowing, I can't figure out these ideas, try one of my design classes. Even if you use Affinity, even if you use Canva, one of my design classes will have you thinking about designs differently, and then you can apply that in whatever program you use. I do have Affinity. I'm not a fan of Affinity. I think because I'm just more of a Photoshop girl, and going from Photoshop to Affinity, it to me, it just wasn't worth it. I had already learned Photoshop, and it's not like it makes it any easier, especially if you already know it. Going from Photoshop or going from any Adobe product to Affinity, it's like, man, this is more. Some things you can't stack and some things you can't do, but I do have Affinity. I have both designer and photo, and I'm just personally not a fan. And like I said in the beginning, it is personal preference. Every program has its benefits and its functions. Affinity Photo and Photoshop are about the same thing. So if you're wanting to learn how to edit photos, to do photo shopping, and for me, that's more so what Photoshop is for. Like, I Photoshop my images. If I have to go in there and color correct, things like that, that's what I use it for. I don't always use it to put full on designs together like this poster that I'm doing. Now, because of blend modes, I do use Photoshop and I'll break that down in my student union. You guys won't see it if you're not enrolled in any of my classes, but if you're in my student union, once these posters are done, I'm going to go back in and show you why I went to Photoshop for the background so that I can change the color of a certain part. I can blend certain things. So I will share that with you guys. But that's what I use Photoshop for most of the time. If I want embossed looks and things like that, I'll go over there. But it's a lot that you can do in Silhouette, guys, or any program. But I do haven't. Look, I'll show you. Adobe, Affinity, Designer, and Photo. I just don't ever use them. Luckily, I'm not paying for those monthly. If that was something I had to pay for monthly, they would not be on my computer, but they are a program where you can just buy it straight out. So that's why I still have it, but I don't use it. Or if I had to pay for it annually, I probably would not have Affinity on my computer. All right. So I need to get back to work to finish these. I have to add the pictures. There's some pictures that I still have to edit in Photoshop because that was the only picture that they had. So I have to change some things on it, and I have to finish putting the posters together, saving them individually so that I can save them as a PDF file and then send it to my Roland to print on Monday. Actually, you know what? I might try and print them right from Silhouette Studio. I think I'm going to save them on my cloud, and I might show you guys on Monday printing directly from Silhouette Studio to the Roland, because at the end of the day, it is still a printer. Now, if it was a cut, I would not be able to cut from it, but it is still a printer by itself. It can be a printer by itself. So when I go file print, it will come up and I can literally send that print straight to the Roland because I'm not cutting it on the Roland. I cut it on my foam board. Last call for questions. If you are just joining, this is what we did, where I'm probably going to go in and move down like the way low is. I think I need to move my black down some. Ungroup. Okay, yeah, I like that better. It was too high up on it. Why does that look like it's not a K? Oh, that. All right. So here's another thing too, right? So here's another design, like things that you have to consider when you are designing. So this is supposed to be, well, it is a K, right? But with the name on it and this was covering it, it almost looked like an H and not a K. So that means for this one, I need to make sure, even if I can't, like if I can't put it where it's centered because it's not going to look like a K, I then have to make the executive decision to either go in and I would have to do that name by itself to make some adjustment to the letter K so it looks more like a K, or this name would end up being like either further up or over so that you can see the curve. Oh, that's too low anyway. Like, so let's say, well, this has hanging letters, so I could never put it here. So it would end up being to where this part was floating up here, but I have to make sure that you can actually see that this is a K and it's not closed off as an H, because I almost thought that was an H. So make those types of, like, really look at your file, how it looks, how it presents. And although we may, like on everything else, you might have it centered, it might be a reason why you need to make, one part of it where it is either higher than everything else or lower than something, or push it off to the side, so that you can see that it's a K or like whatever, see whatever the like, so you can see what the letter is. Hopefully I'm making sense. Sorry. But yeah, so, but I don't like this. So I think I'm actually gonna pull this one down some. And then we're gonna ungroup, group, and then yeah, I just want a little peekaboo of black. I don't want it to be like overpowering. Lord, I should have been here. I need a whole class. Well, you can watch the playback of this over on YouTube. Soloholics Anonymous is the YouTube channel. So I'm streaming right now live on YouTube as well. So you can go over there to watch the playback of this. But if you are wanting to unlock your creativity, I highly recommend that as of February 1st, you get into the design classes. Classes will open up again on February 1st. So make sure that you go to the website, click on the link for class updates. Make sure that we are not going to your spam folder so that you are notified when those classes drop and it's ready for open enrollment. And we're going to get, we're going to make it do what it do. My design class, like I said, are made to help you think outside of the box. So if you know your software and you just need the inspiration on designing, the design classes will be great for you. If you're still trying to learn your program, I will have another Essentials of Photoshop that's actually going to be scheduled at the beginning of February. Actually, I think it might be the end of January because I want to kind of go into February with a lot of like design stuff. Or I might move it to the end of January. But you may want to sign up for the Photoshop Essentials or sign up for the Silhouette Essentials if you want to learn how to design in Silhouette Studio. There are two different things, okay? In order to learn how to design, you must understand the tools. And that's where the 30-day training comes into play. If you're just joining on our website, sign up for the 30-day training if you want to learn Silhouette Studio. And then although it's hidden somewhere, I think it's like right here. Is that it? Oh, no, that's the chat with us. I think because I've already done it, I don't see it. But there's like, when you're just on the site, there's a little thing that says get class updates. So you sign up on that list. And when the email goes out, you'll get the email for the updates. Yeah, I am the best. I promise you. Will never find an instructor in Silhouette Studio like me. And because I use it for so many different things, I teach it for those who want to do designs for eco-solvent print, sublimation, if you're doing just digital files, if you're doing party favors, if you're doing paper crafting. I use it to create templates. I use it to create templates for my foam board designs. I mean, some of everything. Regular paper crafting, 3D paper crafting, cards, print and cut centerpieces, stickers, labels, logos, thank you cards. I literally use it to design everything. Rhinestone designs. Yeah. So with me, you're getting someone that's experienced in using the software for a wide variety of things. And that's the true benefit of like my teaching, is you're going to get so much out of it because of the experience that I have and what I do creatively and how I use the software. All right. So shop.hsink365.com is where you would go. All right, y'all. Got to finish my work. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace. Oh, by the way, almost forgot to say at the beginning. We are having an overstock sale because we need to get rid of some of this 8.5 by 14 of my 17. Most of you guys think just because you have a small format printer, like that's all I see you guys say, where can I get 8.5 by 11 paper from? So y'all buy that up like crazy, as well as 13 by 19s, because y'all be trying to do all these piecing together things. So we have an excessive amount, not say excessive, but we were trying to clear out because we have some new things coming in and I don't want to have to buy another storage space. So we're doing an overstock on the 8.5 by 14 and 11 by 17. We have a select amount that is available. So that's why it's limited time offer. And while supplies last, once that supply is gone, or January 31st, whichever comes first, is how long that will last. But it's only on 8.5 by 14, 11 by 17, fast dry, not the tacky, and then the Formula B ink, which can be used for EcoTank printers. We're actually just trying to get rid of that and get that off the shelves because we have some other things that's coming in and we need that shelf space. So we just want to get rid of it. So we have an overstock sale on the Formula B, and that once that's sold out, it won't be back. And 8.5 by 14, 11 by 17. So take advantage of that. You're getting 25% off of our already amazing, incredible prices. All right, y'all. Until next time, have a great one. Peace.